This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome once again to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti. Our program being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. I want to thank Jim Creel, CEO, joined us earlier over on our sister station, KYOY-FM, talking about the big 50th anniversary celebration that is going on, and especially going to be big happenings for tomorrow. Congratulations to Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, your exclusive Jayco home for RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, special deals going on right now. And how about some financing rates? Wow, they are low as can be. You got to talk to our friends over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service and then cruise the countryside in your Jayco RV. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field, right across from Menards. And again, over at Ray and Cindy's place, they do a marvelous catering service. So again, whether it's anniversaries, birthdays, end of school year, get a hold of Chick-fil-A. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. They serve up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way with a lot full of 19 Kias that need to go. No, I'm not talking total 19. I'm talking 2019 model year Kias. Soul, Optima, Forte, hey, the Telluride, even the Stinger, all there for your inspection. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank times 2. You can catch Rick and the great staff over on Vanda High, and they got an Eastside location. Catch them on the way home and do your banking at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank times 2. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, Gene Barber and the great staff invite you to come on by. Again, they have a great store inside. You can use the convenient drive-thru. Same location as always, open Monday through Saturday on Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body. Family-owned, family-operated for a quarter century. Heather says check out the Auto and Detail Center over Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, and the Auto Repair Shop, or truck repair as well, over on Dunn Avenue.
I
need their services.
I get to see them tomorrow morning.
That's right. You know, so the clown that hit you, you know, hey, I'm glad.
Like I said, it's not coming out of my pocket. It's coming out of theirs. But either way, I at least get to know that it's finally getting fixed and fixed right.
I'm glad insurance finally kicked in for you. So, again, check out Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. We also want to thank First Tier Bank over on Stillwater Avenue, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. I was talking to my good friend Tim on Friday. And, again, great rates on CDs, especially from First Tier Bank on their 27-month CD, 3.1 annual percentage yield right now. Mondello's Pizzeria across the street, 7 days a week. Paisan cuisine at its finest. And I'm telling you, Joe has been doing this for a long time. It's delicious eats and treats always from Mondello's Pizzeria. With that all being said, we want to also thank Pepsi of Cheyenne, who brings us our scoreboard. We go to the scoreboard right now, and here's Nick.
A lot of, at least, local baseball and softball to recap also, too. We'll talk a little hockey as well. But starting with softball here in town with Extreme Weekend for Cheyenne Extreme, as we'll talk more in depth, at least in hour number 2 on Wyoming Sports Talk today with at least manager Adam Galicia and a player to be named. Again, how about a 6-0 sweep for the Cheyenne Extreme this weekend? 3 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, including the championship game against NC Sting. Like I said, for Cheyenne Extreme, gets 6 wins, and they are 27-7-1 overall. For the Cheyenne Mustangs, who are also playing in town at Powers Field, they saw at least two games on Saturday against the Lakewood Tigers. It was a 5-4 victory for the Cheyenne Mustangs in game number 1. Game number 2 was a 17-0 victory for the Cheyenne Mustangs. So the Mustangs on the season are 8-12 overall. For Cheyenne Post 6, who was up in Gillette, taking on Billings at least this Saturday and Sunday. 2 games on Saturday for them, where they saw Billings Royals in the first game. They got that victory 4-3. Game number 2 against the Billings Scarlets, won that contest 6-5. Sunday's contest, first game against the Billings Royals, it was a loss 2-1, and Sunday's second game was a 6-2 victory for Cheyenne Post 6. So for the Post 6 Sixers, they are 20-7 overall. AHL action from this past weekend, at least involving the Charlotte Checkers and the Chicago Wolves. These 2 games happening in Charlotte, where at least it was a split. At least that series is tied 1-1. Sunday's contest, it was Charlotte taking advantage of Chicago 5-3. Next contest coming up Wednesday in Chi-Town. I'll be there for Game 4 coming up on Thursday. And NHL action for tonight. Game, at least, between the St. Louis Blues at home. They will be hosting the Boston Bruins at Enterprise Center. This game could be seen on NBC at 6 o'clock, where the Boston Bruins do lead the series 2-1. So that's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, it's a light day on the scoreboard. Bottom of the 4th inning at Wrigley Field. Cubs leading the Angels 1-0. Games getting underway late tonight. These are the left coasters. It will be, well, almost left coast. The Diamondbacks on Pacific time. They will host the Los Angeles Dodgers at Chase. Padres at Petco. They will have a date with the Phils at Petco Park, 8 p.m. Also in the 8 o'clock hour, the M's at T-Mobile Park in Seattle will entertain the Houston Astros. NBA, nada until Wednesday when Game 3 will commence from the Oracle Arena. That series, oh, by the way, if you missed out, between the Warriors and the Raptors, now knotted up at 1 game apiece. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, mostly sunny with increasing clouds during the afternoon and a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 76. Mostly cloudy for tonight with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Our low dropped down to 49 degrees. Tuesday's forecast calling for mostly sunny in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon with a chance for showers and thunder boomers. We're calling for a daytime high of 75 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to a Monday afternoon edition of Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti as we get ready to have LCCC basketball back with us again for season number 3. He's getting ready along with Coach Dwayne Salisbury for season lucky 13 this year. We have Jason Ficca joining us, LCCC men's basketball coach. A lot going on. It's amazing. All of a sudden the offseason, that's when all the big news is happening. Movement from the team and then those that are coming into the team. So let's talk about the departure that you have to announce. But again, it's a good thing.
Well, first off, I feel like I've been in studio and on the show so many times. I should have my own walk-up music. So we need to get on that.
Wait, you don't like the Van Halen at least?
No, that's what got me on Van Halen. That might be a good one. I might go for that. Anyways, yeah, we've had a flurry of activity here in the last week. Signed a couple more players and then, kind of a bittersweet, I guess, departure, and that David Appelgren was offered a scholarship at Wofford University over the weekend, and he took it. And so we're happy to move him on. That's our job. But it also we're sad that he won't be here next year. It's a big hole for us to fill with his departure. So it's, like I said, it's a bittersweet departure.
It is something where, again, for LCCC, you guys now have to fill that spot where Wofford, at least from my understanding and looking at this team, where they had a few departures a part of this team, where for the Terriers had a decent season. Again, he'll be a good piece to add in again with that height, but they were missing out, I do believe, 4 pieces that were ranging from 6'10 to 6'8. So again, they were losing a lot of their height and picked up with David Appelgren, but now where they take advantage of that height, you now have to fill that height. But something that you mentioned on social media today is you've been busy over there on the LCCC basketball side on Twitter. At least we had 2 announcements. One, a point guard out of Massachusetts, but also 2, you addressed some of that size. You're missing just a few inches compared to what David Appelgren was bringing on the table, but a 6'8" product coming all the way from at least the United Kingdom here to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yeah, we picked up a couple guys here last week, and made the announcement today. I guess I'm slow on Twitter. I'm not as quick as some. It takes me a few days to get around to it, but yeah, definitely Dante Sophia, 6'8", a little raw offensively, but pretty athletic, plays above the rim, good defender, physical. He'll bring some presence there definitely. And then Jared Boyce is a kid that actually we had on a visit a year ago. And offered him a scholarship a year ago, and he chose to go to a prep school and didn't get the kind of offers he wanted out of that prep school. And like happens so often today, the prep school route is, maybe not as good a route with all the transfers out there now. It's hard. It's hard for JUCO guys to get into D1, and much less the prep school guys. So Jared came back around to us this year, and we snatched him up as quick as we could. And he's a very potent scorer, over 2,000 points in his high school career. And I think there's, in the state of Massachusetts history, there's, maybe 30, 40, 50 tops players that have done that. I think he's the 69th. I looked it up. He's the 69th player in Massachusetts high school history to score 2,000 points. That's including boys and girls. So,
and again, in a very competitive state out there where sounds like we have a bit of the diamond in the rough, or at least maybe another steal by LCCC of something that could do, at least an entity that could do something special for LCCC. But as we talk about with Dante, but also to Jared, also too, you do have a few other products that are coming. Again, for instance, Eric Oliver from Cheyenne East. Also to the other product coming out of Anchorage, Alaska at 6'10". So that's for incoming at least freshmen to LCCC, but also to the returners so far of what we know. Again, depending on if they do depart, again, hopefully the core does stay. But again, with Kyle, with also Courtney, Tyrese, Daquan, and looking at a few other entities. Right now slots are filling up for LCCC, but how many pieces are we still missing right now for a full roster?
Well, we also signed Caleb Davis, a 6'7" power forward out of Grand Junction. We signed him in the winter, and then we signed Braden Schlitt, a 6'5" guard from Brighton, Colorado, early in the spring. So we've signed 6 kids. We wanted to improve our perimeter shooting, and definitely Jared, Eric, and Braden all really addressed that. We really wanted to get some more shooting and scoring on the floor. On the other side of the floor from Tyrese Potoma, it was just with only really one consistent, potent scorer last year. It was too easy for teams to just key on him. So now with Eric or Braden or Jared on the other wing, it's going to be hard for teams to spread that far out and guard everybody effectively. So that was a big key for us. We addressed the size a little bit. Andrew Graves is he might even be pushing up close to 7 foot himself. I think he's still growing a little bit, but he's coming off a knee procedure, and so he should be healthy here actually next month. But conditioning is going to be an issue. He's going to have to get up to speed, strength, and conditioning quickly. He's very skilled. He's probably a Hayden Collier type of player as far as his size and skill set goes. So he'll give us, I think, some immediate impact there. And then we'll have to go look for another big, another guy with some size to fill David's hole. What David gave us is the luxury of having a guy we knew we could rely on for a lot of minutes. Now it's going to be a freshman that's going to have to rely on. So those freshmen are now going from not necessarily having to carry the load to they got to carry the load. But I think there's some good players in there that will get the job done.
Coach, you bring in a lot of freshmen, and again, this is not your first rodeo, so the orientation portion of the program is you're going to be playing a lot of basketball. It's going to take up a lot of your time. Do you try to get most of these freshmen to enroll in summer classes at LCCC?
We're really trying to get Eric Oliver into school because he's here local, but no, Eric I think is the only guy that we're really working on trying to get him to take a class or two just so he can come up and work out with us. The rest of the freshmen, it's not really practical, I don't think, for them to actually come to campus. That we can't give a scholarship to the incoming freshmen for the summer, so it would be a lot of out-of-pocket expense for those kids and just probably not something they can do. So, but Eric being here, and it'd be easy for him to take a class, and then we can have him in the gym working out with us all summer.
Going back to David Appelgren, and again, I would venture to say with the Appelgren family, and again, we had some really nice notes from David's pop, who watched our games, listened to our broadcast, and do appreciate all those nice kudos.
As they were watching all the way live from Sweden as well. So
and the nice thing is, too, though, what we're forgetting about with Wofford, it's not a state institution. It's not a Cal State type of or university. This is a private institution. So this is an institution that is going to appease his major in addition to him being a student athlete as well. I mean, this is the big chunk of change that Wofford is gambling on him.
Yeah, I don't know what the tuition and the cost of attendance is there, but I'm sure this is for 3 years. This is well into the 6 figures worth of a scholarship for David, maybe up to $200,000 worth. I don't know what it costs there. Probably $50,000-$60,000 at least, I would think, for everything. But Wofford had a great year last year. They won 30 games. They advanced to the round of 32 in the NCAA tournament, finished ranked in the top 20. They lost their coach, and they lost, you mentioned the big guys they lost, but they lost the I can't remember the kid's name, but there was the 3-point shooter that I think set about every record in the NCAA books with 3-point shooting. So they had some big losses, and their head coach got the Virginia Tech job. So the assistant coach inherited the job, and so there's going to be some continuity there. They have great facilities. They've really invested hard in facilities, and it's a strong conference. You don't hear a lot about the Southern Conference, but East Tennessee has been really good. There's some good programs in there, so it's a great opportunity for David, and I think it was the last thing he was going to look at. It kind of fit what he wanted, and so he took a look at it. And if this wouldn't have come to fruition, I fully expect he told me, he said this was the last visit he was going to take, and if it didn't happen, he was going to shut it down and stay at LCCC. But he liked it. It checked all the boxes for him.
Jason Ficca, head coach of the LCCC Golden Eagles, joining us. What?
I was going to say, update out of Wofford College. At least tuition rates, $40,000 is how much it costs for you to go to school out there. So at least, again.
They haven't fed him either.
Yeah, that's true, too. That's just all that.
Coach, as he goes to Wofford, and again, you and Coach Salisbury have been really good stewards of talent, bringing it to LCCC and then, letting them fly off to other venues, whether it's D1, D2, wherever their student athleticism takes them. Good positives for David and things that he would need to work on, especially now moving to that next level.
Yeah, it's not going to change. I think the same things that we needed David to improve at, they're going to need strength, lateral mobility, explosiveness laterally and vertically. You wouldn't think at 7 feet he needs to be really explosive vertically, but he does need to be a little more explosive than he was. David reaches. He doesn't really jump. He's going to need to jump a little bit. He's going to need to be able to pop off the ground a little quicker than he does. And definitely, David is a good shot blocker, but he's mostly a good shot blocker when the ball comes at him. If he has to slide across the lane and contest or block a shot, that's not really his forte. And that's what we were really working with him on, is being able to make that slide 12, 15 feet across the lane, off of his man, and slide to the help position and get there in time and block a shot. And I think that's definitely what Wofford will continue to work with him this summer on.
Is he D1 ready?
Well, I think he's ready to make an impact at some level. Is David a finished product as a player? Not close. I would say Tyrese Patoma is 95% or 98% the player he's going to be in his life. David is maybe 60, 70 tops. I mean, he's got a lot of room to go on the physical development and even the skill development side. He's got a long ways to go. So that's typical of big guys. I brought up Tyrese. He's probably our most skilled guard, but guards tend to reach their potential, I think, as a player, generally quicker than big guys. So I think he'll be able to help them next year, but he'll get a whole lot better still. He's not close to a finished product.
Coach, let's keep you here. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to be right back after these words on 1480 KRAE.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Did you know that in rural areas of Laramie County, electricity is reliable and affordable because of High West Energy? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op owned by the 10,000 customers we serve, and that includes F.U. Warren Air Force Base and 20 subdivisions around Cheyenne. For more than 75 years, High West has been proud to play a part in the steady growth and economic development of this region, while also contributing to local nonprofits, charities, and civic organizations.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti, and Jason Ficca, head coach of the LCCC Golden Eagles. Coach, it seems like, and we'll get back to the Golden Eagles, but and Nick has been mentioning this quite a bit in our program, keeping an eye on Region 9, and we're seeing coaching vacancies being filled, basically from the bench, if I'm not mistaken. Casper
went to assistant and also to Sheridan as well with Cody Ball, which was named about 4 days ago for Sheridan College. But, again, as we had a lot of vacancies in Region 9, especially on the men's side, and now they're all starting to get filled up, which means that at least prospects and signees, kind of what we're seeing right now with you, Coach, is going to follow suit for Sheridan, Casper, where else through North and South. But, I'll piggyback off of what you're talking about. Is it something where obviously you're busy recruiting, getting everything, pieces all set in stone, scheduling for upcoming season, but do you take a look at this, for instance, again, with the announcements out of Sheridan and Casper? Do you also, too, take a look at what prospects they are getting to Eastern Wyoming, Casper, Western? Are you really kind of busy with that work as well in the offseason?
I'd like to fill up some airtime here, but the answer is no.
All right, well, let's move on to the next question. The question after that would be, are they behind the 8 ball a little bit by announcing the coaching decisions here in May?
Well, I started at LCCC on May 21st of 2007. So for me, it wasn't super late. There's still a lot of good players out there to be recruited, but for me the challenge was I was coming from 2 time zones away, or a time zone away, I guess the central time zone, but I was east of the Mississippi at a 4-year school, small private NAI school, so I didn't have a whole lot of regional contacts. I hadn't been a JUCO coach for some period of time, 5 or 6 years, so I had to start over in a lot of those regards. In both the cases at Sheridan and Casper, those guys are both. I'm not familiar really with either guy very much, but they've been here and they're in this area and they've been in JUCO. So I think they'll have a little bit more of a running start than I had when I started about this time of the year.
Like Coach Salisbury, they've already probably been out and about doing the recruiting portion in lieu of the head coach.
Yeah, I'm sure that they were both still during the interim period here. I'm sure they were both still allowed to recruit. What the bigger challenge is going to be for both of those guys is they both were loaded and lost a lot of guys. And I think maybe Casper. I think Dan told me they had maybe a guy sitting out or two, and they have a little bit left, but they lost a lot. But Sheridan, I think there was a lot gone. I don't think they have much left. I mean, like I said, I don't pay a ton of attention to it. At some point, if I get bored during the summer, Dwayne usually looks up all the guys, and he tells me. I don't spend a whole lot of time researching it, but he'll look it up more than me and let me know, hey, Casper picked up a really good guy here or there. So I do get some info, but I don't pay a ton of attention to it. It's easier now with Twitter. I try to follow most of the other programs in the region, so you get a little more information that way than before I was on Twitter. So.
And you do keep in contact with these head coaches, again, when we take on Sheridan with Western, Eastern, whoever it may be. And obviously when these head coaches, like, for instance, with Dan Russell moving up to Montana State, we saw out of Sheridan where he went down, I do believe, to CSU Pueblo. Even building up these relationships, as we talked earlier about David moving on, and that's kind of the goal on the JUCO side, is to get him to that bigger and better opportunity, those D1s, D2s, again, those four-year institutions to continue playing basketball. Is that something for you where you know these coaches very well, and whatever role they are within those programs, are you able to kind of reach out to Montana State now and CSU Pueblo and say, hey, I got a Tyrese Patoma, I got a Kyle Cabs. If they're still kind of late into being recruited to that next level, is that something where you can use as a bit of an ally of saying, hey, you saw what I have, or you know what I bring to the table. Here's this guy, and I think would be best for your program.
Well, yeah, the nature of those relationships changes. I mean, we've had we've gone from competing against Dan Russell and Matt Hammer to both have called me this spring about our players, about recruiting our players. So now it's not like I want to beat you. It's you got something I want. So the nature of the relationship has changed, but definitely that's just what you gain with experience in this business, and probably any business. You gain more contacts and more trustworthy people out there that you can do business with. And I'm getting at that point where 26 or 27 seasons in, I got
you pretty much know everyone at
pretty
this point.
pretty good network out there that where it really helps as far as that goes. If one of our players says, "Hey, coach, I really want to try to play here. I want to play in the Big Sky." Okay, I know 5 or 6 guys really well. Or coach, I want to try to play in California or wherever. We know some people pretty much coast to coast that we can call and get some interest. That was the case in Hayden Collier. It didn't work out for him, but I called a friend of mine at Jacksonville University in Florida. We sent a player to him a few years ago, and that head coach got in the plane, flew out here and saw Hayden. He didn't bat an eyelash from Jacksonville to Denver up to Cheyenne, and took a look at Hayden because I said he's worth taking a look at. So the longer you're in the business and the better your reputation is, the more you can do that for your guys, and it just helps us get them out the door and get them placed. And I think that's something that I'm very proud of our record in that regard of getting kids moved on. Very proud.
And we'll talk about, at least keeping with your former sophomores with Hayden Collier, but also too something that we announced, but we want to pick your brain on was Stephon Manzi moving on to Minot State. That was announced about a couple weeks ago.
I know, and I tweeted it again today, and I totally forgot that I had tweeted it earlier. Like I totally forgot that.
We forgive you again.
That's an age thing.
Definitely.
If anything, Stephon got even more press, or at least got even more followers probably on Twitter now. But just talking about with Stephon, at least moving on to Minot State, of what he's bringing to the table up to there, and where that kind of program is going to get at least benefit out of Stephon.
Well, Steph moving on to Minot State, I mean, that's a monumental accomplishment for him. He didn't start playing basketball, I don't think, until he came to the United States about 4 years ago. So for him to develop that quickly to become a pretty high caliber Division II player, Minot State's a good program in a big time Division II conference. That Northern, I think it's called the Northern Sun. It's a really good conference, and Minot's a good situation for him. So Steph did a great job in his 2 years here of really, I mean, nobody outworked Steph in the last 2 years. Nobody. He's as hard a worker as we have or probably have had. And it paid off. I mean, all of his hard work, it paid off for him, and that's a great opportunity. So really proud of him. There's the David Applegrins. I mean, it was a no-brainer that David Applegrin, the day we signed him, was going to be a Division I guy. He's 7 feet. He can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. And, not to make too light of it, but when you're 7 feet, that doesn't take a whole lot for a Division I to take a chance on you. But in Steph's case, there was absolutely no guarantees whatsoever that he was going to get to move on from here because of where he was at in his development. It was a big chance for us and a chance he took coming here that he could make this jump, and to his credit, he got it done.
And we noticed that at least when we got on here with his freshman season, and seeing at least last year and being a part of at least those 2 seasons with Stephon, again seeing his kind of evolution, especially the sophomore year, where it was just kind of a lights out difference of he just kind of took the leadership role almost with this team. He just elevated his game to a whole other level. Was that something in the offseason going past his freshman year of you kind of sat him down and say, hey, you might have a little tough, at least difficulty getting to those next level programs to continue basketball. Hey, let's focus, or at least let's kind of improve the season where you have a shot to get to where we are in the promised land right now, where he's moving on to Minot State. Did you have that conversation in the offseason prior to his sophomore year?
Well, the biggest thing we worked on with Steph as far as a physical development goes is shooting the basketball. So he was here all last summer. We have a shooting machine, and he darn near wore it out shooting corner threes. And Steph is a very programmed player. He does exactly what you tell him to do. And that's both a strength and a weakness of his. He doesn't make a whole lot of adjustments on the fly, mostly because of his experience playing. He doesn't have a whole lot. He hasn't played for years and years and years. But he does exactly what you tell him to do, which is, it's what most coaches really, really appreciate. So we definitely worked on that with Steph, shooting the ball. But we also talked about to him that we were only going to have 2 sophomores, and both he and Hayden are very quiet, very mild personality people. And, we prodded both of them pretty hard to come out of their shells, and Steph did quite a bit. He came out of his shell quite a bit and was a pretty good leader for us in that regard. So definitely there was a lot of conversations in that regard. I might have mentioned too, Minot State, that's another one of those. Brandon Linhart went from McCook to be an assistant at Minot, and that was another situation where a former competitor in Region 9, now the coaches turn around recruiting our guys. So whereas maybe you don't always feel so appreciated when the Sheridans and the Caspers, when those guys are beating your tail on the court, but when they turn around and recruit your players, it's kind of flattering for us to know that, well, obviously they respected us and respect our players, that they turn around and recruit them. So that was another case for Steph in this case.
Another school year's come and gone, so I'm venturing to say that the guys have all gone back to their respective homes in Denver, and I would assume Tyrese is back in Canada. What about Mateo Zupko?
Mateo was was set to come back for summer school, and it turns out he's had all of his life, I think, some sort of a nasal condition, and he doesn't breathe, and so he went to see his doctor when he got back to Bosnia earlier last month, and basically the doctor said you're getting about 40% of the air through your nose that you should, so they want to do a procedure on him here in a couple weeks, actually, I think on the 15th, to hopefully open up his nasal passages and so he can breathe right, which I didn't know he had that condition, but now that I do know, I could see it because he was so gassed at times when he should have been in good shape. Like, why are you this gasping for air?
You wonder if it was the elevation or something.
Yeah, and if you're not breathing, obviously when you're exercising, you're mostly breathing through your mouth, but there's still a good amount of air coming through your nose. And he was getting a restricted amount of air, into his lungs at a high altitude. So now it all makes sense. Okay. So anyways, long story short, his plans to return for summer school and work out with us changed to he's taking classes online and he's going to get that procedure done. So yeah, we had expected to have 4 guys on campus, David being one. And now I think we're down to about 2. I think Kyle Cabs is on campus now. I think Courtney Dean will end up being on campus here shortly for summer school. So we went from 4 or 5, we thought, to 2.
Well, at least regarding Mateo, though, obviously with that procedure, do want to say, send best wishes out to him. And again, success.
From a guy that's had these procedures, I feel his pain.
True, yes. Yeah,
so, real quick, Coach, before we let you go, and I don't know if Nick has anything left, but I'm looking at what you have done thus far in recruiting and what you have coming back on the table. You and Coach Salisbury, and you and myself and Nick, we've had these discussions in the past. Do you feel pretty good about what you were going after, that you were able to get them to commit to come to LCCC?
I think we addressed until David departed literally yesterday. He flew out. I think we had addressed all of our needs. We needed some bigger guards. Eric Oliver fit that bill. Braden Schlitt is a 6'4", 6'5" guard. We were going to have Anthony Munson coming off of a redshirt year. He's a bigger body guard. So we had filled that, and then we'd also addressed we needed more scoring, more shooting, more /scoring, which we had addressed. Eric Oliver's a good scorer, and then Jared Boyce we know he's a good scorer. He scored 2,000 points in a high school career. You can put the ball in the basket. So we had addressed that, but a new hole developed. So until yesterday, I really felt like we had filled all the holes really, really well. But we had a lot coming back, and we still do. We still have 4 of our top 5 scorers coming back, and one of the top scorers, and Tyrese will be one of the top scoring guards returning in JUCO. He's been invited to a very prestigious summer event, 2 very prestigious summer events, the JUCO Advocate 45 down in Florida, and then the Mullins Invitational in Dallas, Texas. He'll play in both of those events. Those are big, high profile. Those are the best of the best JUCO players in the country. So, Tyrese is getting him back it was a major coup there.
But it's a nice little spotlight for Tyrese, but also too for LCCC basketball of at least getting those potential recruits, and also to showcasing off of, hey, this is what we do here in Cheyenne, Wyoming with the Golden Eagles. But keeping on the theme with summer, at least final question for me, or at least final thought for you, Coach. Summer camp coming up, obviously with men's and women's basketball over in LCCC. It's coming up very quickly, but just give this opportunity to remind folks again of that summer camp that's coming up there at LCCC.
Well, there's still time. We still have space in both. We have 2 age groups, and we still have space in both age groups. 2 age groups for boys and girls, June 24th to 27th. So, if you parents are like me, with our 7-year-old, we signed her up for something Friday to start immediately. So, if you're still looking for things for your kids to do for the summer, June 24th, 27th, we have basketball camp. I think the preceding week we have a volleyball camp. So bring your kids out to LCCC. You can go on to golccc.com to register. Click on the camp tab, and it's a pretty simple registration process. And we'd love to have them. So
3 weeks from today. That's how quick it's going to be here.
3 weeks.
Coach, I want to thank you so much for joining us once again, giving us an update on what's happening with LCCC men's basketball. We are going to take a time out, and we'll be back with more here on 1480 KRAE.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Perotti inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, mostly sunny with increasing clouds during the afternoon and a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 76. Mostly cloudy for tonight with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Our low dropped down to 49 degrees. Tuesday's forecast calling for mostly sunny in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon with a chance for showers and thunder boomers. We're calling for a daytime high of 75 degrees.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are here, and thank you so much for joining us once again on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Once again, thank you to Jason Ficca giving us the update on LCCC men's basketball. Of course, we'll probably catch up down the road here again with Brian Ortmeyer. I'm sure he's still trying to wrap things up, too, on the ladies' side as they get ready for the season again.
He's just got to catch up on the social media side to get those prospects out there, or at least tell who's coming into the program, or at least for Coach Ficca. He's quick on that on Twitter, at least. He tries to be, at least. So, but again, yeah, thanks to Jason Ficca.
And he tries. Me, forget about it. You don't even want me messing
barely
with
can handle a calculator at this point. But either way, though, what? Are you going to play?
Oh, I thought I heard something buzzing here.
What do you mean?
Maybe it was a car that was driving by.
I think you're just hearing things at this point in time. Just kind of goes on with a theme of just you
Yeah, right.
at this point. But at least keep it on the basketball theme.
Warriors win.
Yeah.
Warriors win last night.
And I think what happened in Game 1, as we didn't get a chance to talk about that, between Toronto and Golden State, it was a perfect storm of where Golden State's a team that was at least battling the injuries, again, in the opposing territory that is Toronto, with everything that was surrounding them. Post that game, with everything that happened with Drake, where, again, we saw the infamous where Steph got in the face with Drake on the sideline, where you had Draymond at the end of the game getting in the face of Drake. You had players having a little fun with Golden State. Fans are getting into it. It was almost this perfect storm. There was even that announcement that New Balance, who's sponsored with Kawhi, was going to put up a ad in Oakland featuring Kawhi, but they immediately realized probably not the smartest thing to do there in Oakland to put up a billboard with him.
But also, too, the Warriors were sloppy in Game 1. And even
But
Draymond made some very sloppy passes.
This is where I'm leading to with Game 1 is for Golden State. They played kind of that who cares mentality of basketball that we've seen in a few games so far in the playoffs, where they just looked lazy out there. They
were shaking off ring rust.
They didn't care. Yeah, absolutely. But I think post that game and everything that surrounded, where it just felt like, all right, we're getting made fun of, and Golden State's getting mocked, and it was just, it looked like Toronto was just having all sorts of fun. I think post that game, especially with that goofball Drake on the sidelines.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean the guy that I don't like?
Like I said, I think his antics, it is here nor there, and obviously the NBA did address it. But I think post Game 1, Toronto and every entity that was surrounding that game awoke probably a sleeping giant that is the Golden State Warriors, and I think we saw that in Game number 2. Right now, where Toronto, it looked like all things were benefit for them, and this was going to be their series. I think what we saw in Game 2 is that you've now awoken a Golden State team from its slumber. It got that ring rust off of them, and now they're going to play real basketball in Toronto. You have no shot, especially now where we're hearing the rumblings. Granted, Golden State's post-Game 2 is running into a little bit more difficulties, where Clay had the hamstring, again, had the ice on it, at least on his leg after post-game. Andre Iguodala getting at least crashed into by Marc Gasol. Granted, he came back and had that clutch 3 there at the end of the game. But again, you're still battling some bugs, but also, too, the potential that Kevin Durant, where that is still surrounding, that is still a buzzing right now of what game will he attend. We do know it's at some point in time in the series he'll return. Will it be Game 3? Will it be Game 4? Right now, this is a Golden State team I think has all the momentum in the world. They're playing their style of basketball once again, and Toronto is just in their way to that NBA championship.
And if you're worried about Klay Thompson, it looks like Wednesday he had a little tightness in the hamstring. He will have an MRI today in Oakland to determine the severity of the injury. Thompson says, I'll be playing Wednesday night.
Well, that's good.
So there you go.
Will it be limited minutes? Who knows? Again, we'll see what the severity is. We saw in Game number 2 that at least DeMarcus got the start.
Yeah, we saw Boogie Cousins play Boogie Cousins basketball.
Yeah, again, he showed up where that was his first ever start in his career in the NBA Finals, and he made the most of it in that contest. And like I said, I honestly believe of all the circus acts around Game 1 after post-game, again, especially with Drake on the sidelines there, I think he's going to prove to be more detrimental to this team than they want, or at least where I said, hey, he's just a glorified cheerleader for the Toronto Raptors. I think after what happened, the antics, again, getting in the face of Draymond, getting in the face of Steph, doing all his little clowning on the sidelines with his shirts, again, wearing the Del Curry Toronto, at least jersey. He wore the hoodie yesterday with on the back, it was Kevin McAllister of, the question mark of Kevin regarding Kevin Durant. But I think with all his antics and just everything that is surrounding this Toronto team, where they almost were gloating, hey, we got our first ever win in the NBA Finals in franchise history, it almost seemed like they basically said, hey, we won the championship here. But Golden State has come out, and I do believe for the rest of the series they're going to say, hey, slow down. We are still back-to-back champs. We are still favored to win this thing. And Toronto, you're basically in our way. And I truly believe after Game 1 of that, what happened after that game, Toronto's woken up a sleeping giant that is Golden State, kind of revitalized them, as we've seen in other series, of saying, all right, we got to play basketball.
I don't think so much. I'll disagree with you a little bit. I think Toronto woke up the Golden State Warriors. I think the Warriors woke up themselves because, again,
like I said, I think it was the antics that also
but yeah, I'm sure they knew what they were going to be in store with the fans and everything else. They didn't realize all of the sidebar story, so to speak.
I mean, we got fireworks at least getting blown off outside of the team hotel for Golden State. Again, it was just all this accumulated. I think right now Golden State has that chip on the shoulder where people want them to fall, and they're basically going to say, hey, we're not falling yet, and this team is not going to be the cause.
And what you don't want to do with the Warriors, and again, it's not so much upset them, because they'll put a whooping on you before you know it. And again, it was typical Warriors last night. Oh, look, we're behind. And then, oh, look, we won the game.
Yeah, down by 5 at halftime, I do believe. And again, you start out the third quarter on a 20-0 run. Toronto, talk about lack of defense there. Give credit to Golden State of having that strong start. Like I said, we've seen this in the entire playoffs, whether it's first round, second round, Western Conference Finals, and now here in the NBA Finals with Golden State. It's a team that can gladly be down at half, and it does not affect them. Their best time to play basketball is those clutch closeout moments of third quarter and fourth quarter. And again, we saw that in game number 2. Again, you had the strong start coming out of the third quarter, that 20-0 run, and then at the tail end where Toronto was making a game of it, at least clawing back into it, here you give that ball there with the waning seconds to at least Andre Iguodala to hit the clutch 3, and it was game over.
And really, you weren't expecting Iguodala to hit the 3.
Well, again, it was basically reminiscent of the Harlem Globetrotters out there, where again everyone touched the ball. It was just going across. It was almost a goofy play where it found in the hands of Andre on the side, and he sinks a 3. And is he the player that you would choose to at least hit a 3 in that moment? I think you have to say, yeah, absolutely. I feel a lot confident.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the Warriors too, with the win last night, and again, Game 3 in Oracle. I think this will be the statement game by the Warriors. I think they will come out. And again, hopefully Clay will be back. We don't know the status on KD. Nothing has been said.
We're talking these home games for Golden State, these next upcoming ones.
You don't want to play in the Oracle against them.
These are the final NBA final games in Oracle there in Oakland, again, in front of a rabid fan base that can get very loud out there.
The Warriors have nothing against the rabid fan base. They wouldn't mind coming back for a Game 6. I think they're going to wrap it up. They want to wrap it up in 5. So they want to take 2. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a split. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't surprise me. But I think the Warriors are going to send out a message game on Wednesday that you, like you said, woke up a sleeping giant. We're ticked off at you guys. Now you're in our house.
Yeah. And for Golden State, what happened at least in Game 1 and 2, getting that series split, again, heading back to Oakland, tied 1-1. It wasn't the best case scenario, but it was good enough, where at least you're not going down 0-2 to Toronto. Instead, you stole one from Toronto, and now heading back where you're going to be in front of a more rabid fan base there in Oakland, in front of that Oracle, at least, arena. Like I said, this might be the end of Toronto, where they had their fun, they got their one, and they're probably not getting any more.
And Drake, when you see your team next, you could be on the cusp of being eliminated from the NBA championship. So
probably
you might want to be more of a fan and cheer on your team than worried about hassling the Warriors, because the Warriors showed you last night we're unflappable.
Yeah.
And again, I know we got to get into the next hour here, but I still throw back that Game 1. I looked at a lot of you watched a lot of the replays of Game 1. Draymond trying to do the jump pass inside. They were lazy passes. We've even called those on games, Nick, where he said, you'd have been better advised to do this. Warriors tried to do things that they weren't ready to do.
It was not the Golden State team that we've seen throughout the regular season and the postseason.
Exactly.
It was not the same team. Game number 2 was that Golden State team. Obviously, they're back in that rhythm. And sorry, Toronto, you have no shot now.
Yeah.
You are not going to be on the same level as Golden State team.
I won't discount them. Don't say that.
I have to, because
I know, but don't say that, because that kind of jinxes it. But my point is, the thing is, the Warriors should grab the next 2 at Oracle, take that thing back to the Scotiabank for Game 5, and maybe sizing up ring number 3 in a row over in Toronto.
Possibly.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to talk some fast pitch with the Cheyenne Extreme 18 and under team. We're back after these words here, 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne from the Pro at Ace and Pro Shop Radio Broadcasting LLC, home of KRAE Radio and KYOI FM. We say congratulations and happy anniversary to Taco John's of Cheyenne. 50 years of serving us delicious eats and treats all across our community. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Well, right now, you can enjoy their delicious sirloin steak burrito, which is good for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Again, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, across from Powersfield, across from Menards. Ray and Cindy's Place again, serving up 3 delicious squares. Their chicken sandwiches, well, you know, they are classics as well. And again, they also do some wonderful cater-outs. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne, Windmill, and Delrange. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Your home for a great-looking lineup of Kias, including the all-new 2019 Telluride SUV. Check out what AJ has for you and the gang over at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank. Banking done the old-fashioned way. Banking done the high-technology way. Banking done with everything in between, including home loans, auto loans, remodel loans, HELOCs, all for you at Platte Valley Bank ×2 on Vanda High and on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, open Monday through Saturday. Same location as always, not their first rodeo by Godfrey. They are located right next door to Texas Roadhouse on Bluegrass Circle, Medicap Pharmacy. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the auto repair center over on Dunn Avenue, and of course the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Family owned, family operated for a quarter century. Lennox Enterprises here in Cheyenne. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Banking, again, with customer service first and foremost. Check out their great CD rates right now on a 27-month CD, 3.1 annual percentage yield. First Year Bank open Monday through Friday. And across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, it's Mondello's Pizzeria Paisan Cuisine at its best, delicious, fresh, always for you. Open Monday through Sunday. See Joe and the great staff over at Mondello's Pizzeria. Our scoreboard this afternoon is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to the next stir.
Recapping from this past weekend on local softball and baseball action here in town with the Cheyenne Extreme, as we'll talk here in a few minutes with Adam Galicia about what happened this past weekend, but it was Extreme weekend here in town over at Converse, the softball complex, where it was 6 in a row for the Cheyenne Extreme, at least led to a tournament championship, and again, we'll talk more about that, but right now for Cheyenne Extreme, with the 6 victories this past weekend, on at least 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, they are 27-7-1 overall. Cheyenne Post 6, they were up in Gillette, Wyoming. They were taking on the Billings Royals and Billings Scarlets. Billings Royals on Saturday. Game number 1, it was a 4-3 victory for Cheyenne Post 6. Game number 2 against the Scarlets, it was a 6-5 victory for Cheyenne Post 6. Moving to Sunday, where they took on the Royals early in the contest. They lost that one 2-1, but however, against the Scarlets in game number 2 on Sunday, they won that contest 6-2. So for Cheyenne Post 6, who went 3-1 this weekend, they are 20-7 overall. Cheyenne Mustangs, they were in action over at Powers Field. They only had 2 contests on Saturday, doubleheader against the Lakewood Tigers. Game number 1, it was a 5-4 victory for the Mustangs, and game number 2, it was a 17-0 victory for the Cheyenne Mustangs. So with their 2 wins this weekend, they are 8-12 overall. AHL action from this past weekend between the Charlotte Checkers and the Chicago Wolves in hockey. That series is tied up 1-1 as it heads back to Chicago. Sunday's contest last night, it was in favor of Charlotte, where they won that contest 5-3 over Chicago. And NHL action for tonight in St. Louis at the Enterprise Center. It will be the Blues hosting the Boston Bruins, where the Bruins do lead that series 2-1. You can see that game on NBC, and it is at 6 o'clock tonight. That's what's happening. NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, they move to the bottom of the sixth inning at Wrigley Field. Cubs lead 6-0 over the Anaheim Angels. We go to late night activity.
That's the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, who cares, whatever they are. The Halos, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks, 7:40 at Chase Field in Phoenix. It's only 97 degrees right now in Phoenix. I like it. 8 o'clock games will have the Phils at the Padres, at Petco, and at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. The Astros and the Mariners will hook up. It is in a very abbreviated schedule in Major League Baseball. Oh, by the way, NBA, as we were talking about that prior to the top of the hour, the Warriors and the Toronto Raptors next meeting on the hardwood Wednesday night at Oracle. Oh, by the way, that series knotted up at 1 game apiece. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Roger's RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Roger's RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480KRAE.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, mostly sunny with increasing clouds during the afternoon and a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 76. Mostly cloudy for tonight with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Our low dropping down to 49 degrees. Tuesday's forecast calling for mostly sunny in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon with a chance for showers and thunderboomers. We're calling for a daytime high of 75 degrees.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today we have head coach Adam Galicia, 18-under Cheyenne Extreme coach, joining us. Also, he brought a player along. We'll introduce you to Jayden Gashler coming up here after the break. So, Coach, first off, congratulations. Very successful weekend for the 18-under team.
I mean, successful, you can also say dominant.
Well, yeah, dominant is one thing, but also, too, you had to battle graduations here on the local side. So, disruptions, amidst the disruptions, you still kicked butt and took names.
Yeah, going into the extreme weekend, especially the last 2 or 3 years when, or maybe 3 or 4 years since they've moved the graduations, it's always a tough time going into the weekend. Girls, a lot of the girls have their focuses elsewhere, so sometimes you don't know what you're going to get on Saturday. Sunday, they always pull it together, but we were pretty focused this year, and it was very pleased. It was dominating. It was a dominating performance this weekend.
In breaking it down, at least from our scoreboard, but here we are with you, Coach. Saturday, 3 games again, as you saw. Gering Logos, that was a 7-1 victory. NC Sting, you beat them 10-0. CS Thunder beat them 12-1. Moving to Sunday, 7-1 against Aurora Twisters. You got that victory, 10-0 against the Gering Logos, and then the championship game against the NC Sting, it was 6-0. A lot of shutouts, but also too a lot of high-scoring affairs where you kept these teams again. As we look 6 games, your pitching and defense only allowed 3 total runs. I mean, we're talking at least. That's why I brought up that term, dominant. It was phenomenal softball that you played this past weekend.
Yeah, our pitchers are really in the zone right now. We're getting in there. We're hitting our spots. We may not be striking out a lot. We're getting our fair number of strikeouts, but we're hitting our spots and forcing them to swing in some balls that whether they're popping it up or giving us good ground balls to make plays on. Our defense is when they're having opportunities to make plays, they're making them. I mean, we had girls diving for catches this weekend, just diving for balls. It was, and you get with your home crowd, and you get some of that extra effort too. But the girls are just in a zone right now.
And this is something that I kid with you off air before we got on. But again, you look at those scores: 6-0, at least 6 victories were no losses in the Cheyenne, at least the extreme weekend, including a championship win. I mean, you play so limited here in the city of Cheyenne. You have difficulties getting up, at least teams up here. I mean, is this one of the reasons why teams do not want to play up here in the city of Cheyenne, of just seeing results like this, of just how dominant you are at home playing over at Converse?
Well, I wish I could say that was it, but it's amazing. The Colorado teams just think it's, like I said before, just think it's a long ways to travel up here. We got, we're getting our reputation out there. The girls, they're working hard, and that's what I always preach about, working hard, and it's a gradual process. It's just not the thing in fast pitch for some reason for teams to travel during the week, and I wish it was. We could get more home games like that. But, of course, having a weekend like that doesn't help sometimes.
Well, the nice thing about this weekend, you got basically the doubleheader with the 6-game sweeps. You got pitching on one side, but on the other side, they brought the aluminum with them too. You got some big hitters that were going yard for you, and again, those that are expected to do it, we're doing it.
Yeah, I mean we're getting hits all the way throughout the lineup, but we did have some girls that are. I mean, they came out and just crushed the ball. Honestly, I didn't realize till I saw on the news last night that it was 53-3, scoring and runs allowed. And some of the games seemed a little bit closer to that, but our girls are just, the bats are just on fire right now.
We are getting a weather update, so just want to let you know that
we're still live on our other entities.
Yeah,
at least
just want to remind everybody that we are getting
severe thunderstorms. At least also too have been reports of funnel clouds down south of Cheyenne. So checking, at least looking at the National Weather Service here in town, severe thunderstorm, quarter-size hail, wind up to 50 miles per hour. But this is east of Cheyenne. But there have been reports of at least possible funnel clouds have not touched down, but just south of Cheyenne. So that's what's at least the weather report right now.
Anyway, so just not to interrupt you. And again, you know, the nice thing was this weekend, weather wasn't that much of a factor for you guys.
Yeah, we were expecting, actually, the Sunday was supposed to have some thunderstorms and stuff, and that didn't play out, which was nice. We were kind of worried getting into the weekend, all the moisture we had last week, and we were supposed to get more moisture Friday. Got a little bit, but it really didn't affect the weekend, and it was actually pretty hot out there.
Let me ask you this question now, too. Again, this is the weekend where everything came together, and that's a good thing. Now, you as the head coach, and you've been through this, not your first rodeo, so you know what I'm talking about here when I say this. Now it's keeping them even-keeled, not overconfident.
Yeah, and we talk about that all the time. I know last show I talked to you guys about, now we're to the point where it's the little things. And the biggest thing that I appreciated out of this last weekend was seeing the little things come into play. Just the little flips to first base, working through the ball, drop, step, and go to get the pop flies or the hits to the outfield. I mean, all these little repetitive drills that we're doing, to see the girls don't even realize they're doing it now because we do them so much that it's just
second nature.
It's just become a part of who they are.
It just gets ingrained to the point where, it's just second habit. But at least as we talk and move forward now, obviously the big weekend that was having the Extreme weekend, and again, just dominant effort by Cheyenne Extreme getting that victory. We talk about with graduations, prom, all these kind of distractions taking off Memorial Day weekend. Moving forward, as we have an understanding at least where July will be kind of the final month for Cheyenne Extreme for softball. Moving forward till that time when Extreme is done for the season, do we have any more kind of outside distractions for these players, or is it pretty much of, hey, let's focus, it's softball time, and let's go win some more?
Our biggest distraction come up into with school getting out is basically girls not realizing they still have to take care of themselves. So sometimes they have a tendency to stay up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, don't get up till 11 or 12 in the morning, those that don't have jobs. So there's probably a week that goes by of that till they realize I still have to take care of myself and get proper rest.
It's interesting too that we think of the young ladies, but let's put a plug in for you and your son, and Nick and myself can relate to this. The hours that you put in, and you work for a living too. It's not like you just sit around the couch all day and flip the remote on. So, how many hours a day or a week are you and your son putting into this program?
Directly related to us playing softball between practice and the weekends, I mean, you're talking anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week that we're putting in just physically doing something with the softball. And let alone after that, all the external stuff that has to be taken care of, all the administrative stuff, the everything that goes on outside of the field. And so it could be another, probably another hour and a half a day that's going on with that.
I asked Coach Lane this last week too, because again, this is not the only thing you do in life. You got other responsibilities, but you as a head coach, knowing you got game one, and we'll just say against Gering, when do you put the lineup on paper? Do you do it when you get to the field, or are you at home that night or that morning, before breakfast, said, okay, here's my starters, and here's who I've got ready to go, and here's my bullpen just in case? I mean, when do you actually physically have that lineup ready to rock and roll?
Me personally, I don't actually fill up a lineup card until probably 30, 45 minutes before the game. Generally, once we get the schedule and we know who we're going to play, we start formulating an idea of what we're going to do, who we're going to throw. Then we got to take into consideration, how do we practice this week? Are the girls healthy? And just different little things like that. But we start formulating during the week where we're going to go. But it's literally probably 45 minutes before game time before I actually put something on paper, and I see how the pitchers actually warm up and just see if they're ready to go and hopefully follow that format.
And it certainly paid off again this weekend. 6 straight wins, 27-7-1 overall for the Cheyenne Extreme. You talked about health, obviously, as we ask you every week, or at least I try to. What's kind of the overall health right now of the Cheyenne Extreme? Are we still fighting some bugs? I mean, are we all majority healthy? Where are we at right now?
We're sitting pretty good. I mean, like I said, like we always talk about, you have the little nagging injuries. But overall, we're pretty healthy, and we're sitting strong, ready to finish out the meat of our season here.
And what's next?
And so this weekend we'll be at down in Erie, Colorado, playing the shootout in the Plains. So our schedule's already out. So Saturday I think we play at 10:30, 1:30, and 3, and then that'll seat us into bracket play on Sunday. And weekend after that we head to Gillette, and then we're back in Colorado the next weekend. And then we have the next weekend where we'll be preparing to travel to Florida for the World Series. And then we'll finish out with the Wyoming State Tournament.
Something I want to talk with you as well, as we saw, and I got to see at least a few contests there at a Converse where I had the opportunity this weekend. A lot of folks showed up, a lot of parents, I would assume a lot of fans as well, too. It was a packed crowd over there at Converse softball complex. Now, when you head down to Erie, when you go up to Gillette, in these other areas, since, again, we can't play a whole lot of softball here in town, do we see the same amount of crowds down there in the Colorado ranks or up in Gillette? I mean, do we have a good fan base where even for your team have to battle those elements of those, those loud parents or those friends down there that might be, for that team that you're opposed against down there in those kind of enemy territories?
It's hit and miss. For the most part, it's our parents that travel. We do have grandparents that travel, to see, but it's nothing like the crowd you saw this weekend. I mean, it was great. I was kind of amazed. I looked back and I was like, man, can somebody get a picture of that? Because there was a bunch of people there, and the girls enjoyed it. They appreciate it. You could tell on Saturday they were a little tense the first day and more because they're trying to do something that they hadn't been already doing. I mean, just try a little harder instead of just being who they were. They're trying to make some things happen. So we started off a little shaky, but yeah, we got back right in there, and you always want to impress your family members that don't get to see you, your friends, boyfriends that don't travel, that type of thing, and but they found their groove, and yeah.
And it's unfortunate too because it's a rarity that we get so little home cooking in a park that was basically built for the Cheyenne Extreme, especially if I'm not mistaken. I got to get my field straight. Field 4, wasn't that built for you guys especially?
We're actually in Field 3.
Field 3, I missed by one.
And we back when the designing happened, we got to have a little input. I got to be in a lot of that. Dave Montgomery got to be in a lot of that, and so the whole park was actually supposed to be designed like Field 3, and unfortunately, by the time they got going, a lot of that pot of money had dwindled down. So basically we got what we got, but we still appreciate anything we get.
Now, if you can just get some more home games, that would be even better. Yeah. Adam, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Again, getting the update on the Extreme 18 and Under team, and again, more fast pitch coming up this weekend, Erie, Colorado, and again. Good luck to the Extreme 18 and Under team. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back with Jayden Gashler after this word here at 1480 KRAE.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At Cheyenne Regional Medical Center Supportive Care, our mission is to help patients with serious illnesses live as well as possible for as long as possible. We address physical, social, emotional, and spiritual needs for each patient and their families or caregivers to improve their quality of life. If you feel that you or a loved one may benefit from supportive care, please call 307-633-7952 or ask for a referral from your primary care provider.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Crown Royal Original or Apple Canadian Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $36.99. Rolling Rock, 18-pack, 12-ounce cans, $10.49. And Tito's Handmade Vodka, 750-milliliter bottle, $15.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today as we again want to thank Adam Galicia joining us here, the skipper of the 18 under Extreme, Cheyenne Extreme team. Yes.
Do, at least before we get to our special guest, do want to remind folks again, at least we've been having weather alerts throughout at least Laramie County. Again, there's a severe thunderstorm warning, not for Cheyenne, but at least for the eastern part of the county, for Pine Bluffs, Egbert. Quarter-size hail, wind up to 50 miles per hour. Also, too, there were at least reports of a possible funnel cloud south of Cheyenne, but according to the National Weather Service, it looks like it was a false threat, so nothing. But the storms do have capability, but at least those reports of a funnel cloud or at least turned out to be a false report.
All right, we introduce you now to Jayden Gashler, who is with the Cheyenne Extreme, and for about 4 or 5 more days you're a sophomore at Cheyenne Central, and hopefully the report card moves you on to the no, actually going to be moving on to be a junior. But first off, congratulations on getting through another school year.
Thank you.
All right, real quick, Jayden, you play shortstop, you play second, you throw the rock from time to time. If there's a position on the team that you could play all the time, what would you want to play?
Definitely shortstop. It's where I feel comfortable. It's my home. When Adam puts me at second, I'm not very happy, but I still do my job, and I'm not really a fan of pitching. But when I'm at short, I just feel like I'm meant to be there. And
we'll ask you, Jayden, to get a little closer to that. I might just scoot up if we possibly can to get you loud and clear. But at least you're talking about being that opportunity. Is it a position that you, or at least let's start at the beginning of, how long have you been playing softball?
I've been playing softball for 5 or 6 years now. I've lost count, but I started off playing baseball. I played baseball until I was about 12, and I loved baseball, but my mom told me I needed to go to softball, and now that's my love.
Now, as you play shortstop, and let's be real honest, that is probably where the bulk of the usually the hot corner at third base and shortstop. You guys are getting the bulk of the action. So how do you, and I was watching some of the Women's World Series going on this weekend, and I was watching the shortstops, as a matter of fact. They like to come in sometimes, but also, too, they need to cheat back. Where do you like to position yourself, or do you kind of do your own scouting? Like Nick came up in the first inning, he popped up to you at an infield pop-up, and then the next time up he got a base hit up the middle. How do you do your own scouting?
I definitely see if there's a power hitter or not. So if I see if it's a power hitter, I am back a lot, and then I come forward. But if I've played the team before and I know what the girl is going to do, I definitely position myself in different places. For example, like we have like slap hitters, and like baseball doesn't, and so I like position myself more towards third. It's all situational. Like I don't stay in one spot.
As you talk about, at least playing a little bit baseball and then moving to the softball route, as we mentioned again, as the College World Series right now, as I do believe yesterday we were watching Oklahoma versus Alabama in that matchup, at least as they're competing right now for a national championship. Do you find yourself kind of watching the pros or at least the college ranks for softball, or also too, again, as you talk at shortstop, do you look up to any kind of the pros on the MLB level for kind of that position at all?
Not really. I don't really put myself towards like players. When I was younger, I loved Todd Helton with my whole heart. Like I used to play against his daughter and see him at tournaments, but I wanted to be a first baseman because my mom was a first baseman, but I just do my own thing and just watch other players and get the technique and not the person.
All right, let's talk about hitting.
All right.
All right, let's talk about, you've got that capability of going yard, and one of the nice things is too when you hit that home run, and we've had that opportunity talking with the other members of your team. Again, you look like, hey, wow, you're just a basically a Punch and Judy type of hitter, but when you get one to go out of the yard, what is that feeling for you?
It's amazing. I never thought I was going to be able to hit a home run because I'm so small, but when it happened, the feeling of finally doing it was great. And then I went back and watched film, and I realized that I dipped my bottom shoulder, and I was like, oh, I messed up. And then I was disappointed that I hit a home run because I just want to be correct. And so it was amazing, but at the same time, I knew that I didn't do it correctly, and so it was kind of heartbreaking.
I like that, again, a perfectionist on the skills and whatnot of just at least judging or at least going off the film and seeing, what do I need to improve on, at least playing for the Cheyenne Extreme. Now I want to talk about keeping on the emotion side this past weekend, 6 straight games, or at least 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, including the championship win here in town as we talk with Adam. And we've been talking from him last year to this year, again, getting the understanding of the Cheyenne Extreme. Not a whole lot of opportunities. This is your lone kind of opportunity to play here in town in front of your family, friends, whoever it may be that comes out to Converse, and getting 6 straight wins. What were kind of the emotions this weekend for yourself of just getting the wins, playing here, and having that big crowd over at Converse?
It was a proud moment for me and everyone around me. I was so excited to play in front of people to show my capability because you don't really get to do that often because no one comes to Cheyenne to watch and we don't have games here. So I think for me and all the girls, it was just exciting, and we had that drive to play and we really showed it.
Do you feel pressured? Because in my years that I've been here, the Cheyenne Extreme has been just, the mark of excellence for women's fast pitch. And again, with your team, and like Nick mentioned, you won 6 games this past weekend. Do you feel pressure every time you're on the field? Because, again, you are wearing that Extreme uniform, and everybody's got, basically you got the target on your back every time you step onto the field.
Oh, yeah, we definitely feel it. Adam's past teams have been so amazing. Like, we've won state, I can't even count how many years in a row. And just to keep that reputation and that excellence that he has brought to Extreme we have a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Talk about your teammates. Again, we have met, they're from all over, whether it's at Central, whether it's East, whether it's Torrington. How do you guys all get together and gel? Because you come from Again, whether it's crosstown or even Torrington, how do you all gel together?
I honestly could not tell you. I was talking to someone about this today, and if you've seen Pitch Perfect, they're all like a variety, but they all come together. That's exactly the analogy I would put, that we all have the love for softball. It doesn't matter who we are or where we come from. It's just our passion. That's just all it is.
I doubt he's seen Pitch Perfect. He barely understands how Twitter at least works. But either way, though, at least as we
smack him when we get off the air.
Get over it. But either way, as we get into understanding of what you are doing right now for the Cheyenne Extreme, we understand that, again, played baseball in softball, and right now sophomore at Cheyenne Central. Any other athletics that you compete outside of the softball rink?
Basketball, volleyball. I used to do swimming, but sometimes they have multiple sports at the same time, which is difficult. But, yeah, mainly just basketball and volleyball.
Right now, again, you're still early on in your high school career, still have plenty of time to figure out things before you have to make that decision to move on to that next level. But right now, again, basketball, volleyball, softball, have you kind of decided on what you would like to focus on in that next level, or is it still kind of to be determined, still almost a filling out process of what you'd like to kind of continue your career with?
Oh, softball, definitely. Just where my heart is at.
And again, too, you're a junior forthcoming at Cheyenne Central. Have you looked ahead? Have you made plans? I know you still got 2 more years of high school, but do you want to go to college? Do you want to play college ball? Have you decided what you want to be when you grow up? I know these are questions that I shouldn't be asking a sophomore right now, but a lot of people are already planning their life.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking into a lot of colleges. I haven't really been set on one or where I want to go, but I want to be a psychologist, and I want to be somewhere where that's a good schooling experience, and I want to play softball at the same time. So I'm just going to research my way through that as I'm going through high school.
As we talk about the future, we'll focus on this season right now, as I've asked every other player, and I'll ask you the same question. For this season, heading in, at least with the Cheyenne Extreme, did you have any set goals, or as we talk and get an understanding, as you talk about your home run of, hey, I was a little critical of, dipping the shoulder, and I got to improve on that. Were there instances that you needed to prove on heading into this season? Any goals that you had set for this season?
Yes, I overthink a lot because I want to be precise with everything, and sometimes my overthinking gets to me. Like when I see a ground ball, I overthink, and then I mess up, and then I just wanted to have that muscle memory take over and have my instinct. And so that was just my main goal, was just to be comfortable where I was at.
And again, obviously, as we'll look at Coach over there and say, shortstop, remember that. I'll work on that for you. All right. Anyway, Jayden, we want to thank you so much for joining us here. And again, congratulations on getting through yet another school year. Only 2 more to go.
Only 2.
Only 2 more. They'll go by fast, unless you're like him, who never opened up a book. They went by.
I still managed a 3.0.
Yeah. That I don't even know how that happened.
Easy.
Anyway, Jayden Gashler joining us here on 1480 KRAE, another member of the Cheyenne Extreme 18 and under team, and we wish them all the best for the remainder of the season. Of course, they've got a big tournament coming up this weekend in Erie, Colorado. We're going to be back after this time out here on 1480 KRAE.
Capital Lumber is number 1 in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Come one, come all. The Capital Lumber Company's 11th annual Bell Santa races on Wednesday, June 19th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. The entry fee is free, and you can register today at the Capital Lumber Company inside. Also, you can do it on their website and Facebook page. Prizes will be awarded for first, second, and third, and most creative Bell Sander. It's fun for the whole family at Capital Lumber Company's 11th annual Bell Sander races, Wednesday, June 19th at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Band High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, mostly sunny with increasing clouds during the afternoon and a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 76. Mostly cloudy for tonight with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Our low dropped down to 49 degrees. Tuesday's forecast calling for mostly sunny in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon with a chance for showers and thunderboomers. We're calling for a daytime high of 75 degrees.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. I know we're not going to have a lot of time to dive into this, and we'll talk a little more tomorrow. You know, when I say names like Dan Hampton, boy, that sounds like a former NFL star, and Tony Gonzalez, and I can use the words of Eric Dickerson, Eric Crouch. You know, these are all guys that are up for they're on the ballot, on the 2020 Collegiate Hall of Fame ballot. Mm-hmm. And there's a name on there that I don't want to bypass. That was a gentleman that we talked about here when we had our guest in the other day.
Cody Tucker.
There you go. And again, one Marcus Harris. He is also going to be on this ballot. And again, Marcus Harris was a great wide receiver for the University of Wyoming. 2-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors as a senior. A 1996 Bolitnikoff Award winner who finished 9th in the Heisman Trophy voting.
Mm-hmm.
And twice led the nation in receiving yards per game. 1996 WAC Offensive Co-Player of the Year, who set an NCAA record with 4,518 career receiving yards.
Definitely a name from at least
yesteryear.
Well, but also too for Marcus Harris, where again being in the state, but for me, not a diehard Wyoming Cowboy fan, but even outside, he is definitely a name where he's definitely synonymous with the University of Wyoming. He is kind of that name of, okay, Cowboy football, you know who he is. Now regarding at least Hall of Fame for the collegiate football. I would say yes. I would say
he's got numbers, but also too you see names like Ed McCaffrey is on here. Again,
there are a lot of big
There's a lot of bigger names that went on to have successful pro careers.
But obviously that is not. I would hope in the collegiate side, or at least for the Collegiate Hall of Fame, they don't look forward to that. It's, hey, here's what you did your time during college.
I'm throwing that out there just as names that you would recognize.
I wouldn't doubt, though, saying with MLB, MVP, at least voting where, hey, the bigger name or here's what he did, we'll give him the award, give him the recognition. Would it not surprise me if those bigger names, like as you mentioned with Ed McCaffrey and so on and so forth, do get that recognition, or at least, hey, I know who he is. I know what he did in the NFL. Sure, I'll vote him in overlooking Marcus Harris, who had a good time at University of Wyoming,
Right.
and he did what in the NFL?
But look at this, though. You got Carson Palmer, USC quarterback, 2002 consensus
Hall of
first-team
Famer, yeah.
All-American,
Yeah.
and Heisman Trophy
Yeah,
recipient.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
He's easy.
He
Yeah.
should be that. Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah.
with the UCLA Bruins. So yeah, there are a lot of names on here. Julius Peppers, again,
Hall of Famer.
Some guys that went on to have great careers as pros, but collegiately, you can't forget a guy like Marcus Harris, because Marcus Harris, who played under the Joe Tiller regime,
yeah,
and again, that wide open offensive attack that the Cowboys had. I mean, this guy was getting a lot of press, and the Cowboys were doing very well back in the days under Joe Tiller, Larry Corpitz. Again, I'm trying to remember the quarterback now. I'm going to have one of those. Josh Walwork was a quarterback. He was throwing a lot of aerials to one Marcus Harris, who was making some great.
But like I
grabs
said,
back
with
in the
Marcus
day.
Harris, even for those kind of fringe fans, or at least those who did not grow up at that time, Marcus Harris is definitely a name that I would say across the state, whether it's young or old, knows what he did, what he was for that program. Obviously, that's just here in the state of Wyoming, but outside in the nation, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he misses out. Again, not knowing what the Collegiate Football Hall of Fame process is, if it's like the NFL or baseball or however the voting process goes. Would it surprise me, hey, he doesn't get in this year, maybe next year? It could be a possibility like that, but I think what he did, his basis in a college career, and did for the Wyoming Cowboys and for that program, I think absolutely he is a Hall of Famer, but it is, will it be this year? Will it be next? Does it take him some time, at least a little bit longer than that? That is kind of the big question.
Well, the National Football Federation and the College Hall of Fame, so they announced today 76 players, 5 coaches from the football subdivision, and 101 players and 33 coaches from the divisional ranks. I mean, that's a lot of folks. And if I understand it right, the ballot was emailed today to more than 12,000 NFF members and current Hall of Famers whose votes will be tabulated and submitted to the NFFS honors courts, which will deliberate and select the class.
So that makes it probably even worse for Marcus Harris, where his name's going to get at least kind of buried under a lot that is still above him. And again, with the big names that are Carson Palmer, that are Ed McCaffrey, that are, again, where they had good college careers, but also too well known in the NFL. That might be the one kind of dark spot, or at least bad point about this for Marcus Harris, of getting buried under so many names.
And think about this: the National Football Foundation chairman is Archie Manning, Peyton Manning's pop, Eli's dad. He's a 1989 Hall of Fame inductee. Guess what? He was playing NFL football in the 70s. So look how long it took for a guy like Archie Manning to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. So again, Marcus has been out of football as far as the collegiate side for about 23 years. Is his time due? Don't know. Just wanted to throw this out. I know we're doing a very capsulized version of it, but I just want to mention that he's on the ballot. And fingers crossed that maybe he gets recognized for what he
like
did.
I said, I think he does eventually, but when that will be, that's to be determined. Again, where you're talking a lot of big names, might get buried. Again, a lot of national spotlight, or at least wherever these voters are coming out of. Will folks from California, maybe there are voters of the Bay Area, are they going to know who a Marcus Harris is, or even care, or say, oh, it's the University of Wyoming, whatever.
Yeah, don't know.
Again, will there be bias? Will there be voters that don't care? There's a multitude of factors, but I, in my opinion, of knowing at least what he has done for the university, for the state of Wyoming, putting that program and being a part of what, kind of the heyday, I think absolutely he deserves to be a Hall of Famer. But the biggest question is, will it happen? Will it happen now? Will it happen years down the line? Kind of like as you were talking with Archie Manning. Does it happen, a decade later from where we are announcing for the first time eligibility here for Marcus Harris?
So let's move on from football to the ice real quick. We're going to talk about the Stanley Cup, give that about a minute here, and then we want to get into this Kelly Cup situation, get your thoughts. But Boston stole one on the road.
Whipped on St.
They
Louis.
stole one in St. Louis, so we know for sure that we could have at least Game 6 and 7 in Beantown.
Well,
Again,
actually, the series is 2-2-1-1-1. So,
is it?
Yeah, 6 will be back in St. Louis.
I could have sworn they said it was all 3, and it was 2-3-2.
From my understanding, it was 2-2-1-1-1. So, at least from
the way I read it was 3 were in St. Louis.
Maybe ESPN's wrong then or something.
All right,
but either way, though,
Boston now has a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Finals and a huge road win.
Well, it certainly was, but also, too, St. Louis had their huge road win in game number 2 there in TD Garden. So, coming up tonight, though, to tie up this series, I would anticipate that with St. Louis, with the Blues. I think, again, after those butt whippings that they get, as we saw in game 1, I think they'll respond, especially at home. They get it done. I would not be surprised if, again, another high-scoring affair, but it's an advantage of St. Louis. But game number 3, that looked just absolutely pathetic. St. Louis's defense that collapsed in game number 1, collapsed again in game number 3. That was highly surprising to me. Obviously, defense has to pick it up for St. Louis. Offense is still there. It's inconsistent, clearly, as a defense. But here in game 4, I think coming up tonight at home, something tells me it's the perfect storm for St. Louis to rebound, get another close one. It'll probably be another 4-3, 4-2 advantage for the Blues, and they'll at least tie up that series 2-2. But it would not surprise me as well, too, for Boston to come back and just kind of put a whipping, basically put their foot on the necks of the St. Louis Blues here in Game 4. Game 3, like I said, St. Louis just looked pathetic.
But does this have the earmarks of 7? It could.
It could. If St. Louis wins tonight, it does. If Boston wins tonight, no, I think they wrap it up in at least in Game 5.
Okay.
I honestly believe that. I think this is another for St. Louis. This is a must-win. I think you need to get this, or else you're in deep trouble, at least for Game 5 for Boston, where I think Boston has that capability and that momentum where they could just shut it out in 4-1, at least a 4-1 series. But for St. Louis, yeah, if they win tonight, I think it's a possibility that you could see a Game 7. This goes the distance, which if we talk about going distance, does that favor St. Louis? Does that favor the Bruins? I think it favors the Bruins because they haven't had a lot of those Game 7s. They haven't been really tested this playoff series. They're not as tired and bruised and battered like St. Louis is. And I think that's where, for St. Louis, your only shot to win this cup is to push it that 7. But will they be gassed out? Will they be just absolutely just gone at that Game 7 point?
All right. With that being said, we got about, and I'm probably not doing this justice, Nick, but I'm going to give us about 4 minutes to chat about this. Big article over the weekend concerning the Colorado Eagles down south and theft of the Kelly Cup. I'm confused. What's going on?
Well, it was a situation where I guess Commissioner, obviously with the Colorado Eagles being in the ECHL, they won back-to-back Kelly Cups, including last year. Obviously, same situation with the Stanley Cup. It is a trophy. It is a mobile trophy, but it also, too, is returned back to that respective league after you are done, or at least get set in stone for the next season. With the moving, at least for Colorado Eagles, up to the AHL, our understanding from Martin Lynn, owner of the Colorado Eagles, as he put out a statement online, at least on the Colorado Eagles website, saying, we've reached out to the ECHL. We've reached out to that front office and said, hey, we're trying to give this back to you. Please take it off our hands. But they have been non-responsive. The ECHL says it's the otherwise of basically saying, yes, Colorado Eagles and that ownership group has stolen and will not give back, as much as the ECHL has said, hey, please give it back to us. We've given you multiple opportunities. So it's a little... He said, they said, back and forth right now. I do want to say as well that I did reach out to the media, at least Kevin McGlue, who's at least media relations there with the Colorado Eagles, to talk with at least owner Martin Lynn. Unfortunately, he is not speaking to any media outlet, so we did try to reach out to the ownership, but unfortunately they are not taking the request at this time.
If I'm part of the Colorado Eagles right now, I'm offended by that. Wouldn't you be offended? That, even, and again, whether the media is using the words or the other league is using the words, but to steal a cup, I mean, come on, give me a break.
It sounds to me, I like to believe, benefit of the doubt to the Colorado Eagles if they've been trying to, and it might be a situation that the ECHL and league officials and commissioner and blah, blah, blah down there have probably been lazy about this, of where, hey, you know, it wouldn't be surprising if that league basically said, hey, here's our times availability, try to make this work, Colorado Eagles, and it's almost like a tough situation for the Eagles to give back that trophy, that cup, back to the league.
Hell, come and get it.
Absolutely.
They're located in Loveland. There's an
Absolutely.
airport
I
there.
think that was, I think, if anything, I give, once again, a benefit of the doubt to the Eagles, where I think it was just a league in this front office of the ECHL that was just lazy.
Sounds
That
like
did not come out
moron
to
in the
Loveland.
front office.
It's not hard to get out to Loveland, Colorado, flying into Denver, or you can fly direct into Loveland and pick up that cup. I think it's just the league being lazy, and if anything, throwing out an excuse to develop, because they already made a brand new Kelly Cup for this year's at least finals. So you wonder if it's more the league just creating a controversy that isn't
necessary.
Isn't needed.
It isn't necessary. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought we'd throw that out there because I saw that. I was appalled by that. I was like, how dare you? I mean, it's like, first off, they won the cup. Yeah. And second of all, they've been trying to get it back to you, but no one seems to want it. I don't know, but am I right?
Like I said, I want to believe the Colorado Eagles, but it also, too, is just an interesting situation of them getting called out. Again, also, too, of, you know, why are you not getting back to us, or at least why you're not taking media requests to talk about this, the ownership for the Colorado Eagles. So, like I said, is it something probably bigger, or is it something? I don't know what to make of this. It's really
probably
stupid.
Like, this is not even worth the
But who cares at this
time,
point?
yeah.
At this point, for the ECHL, you've already created a new cup.
Yeah.
Let Colorado keep the old one, I guess. So, you know, it is what it is. Looking at the Stanley Cup final, to go back to a point, yes, it is 2-2, 1-1-1. So Game 5 will be back in Boston. Game 6 in St. Louis. Game 7 in Boston.
2-3-2. But
so,
right.
again, I'm right.
Well, then somebody messed up on my side here. All right, here's what we got going on for you. The Golden